Hey everyone, in this video we are going to solve the minimum path sum question on Leetcode. So we are given a m into n grid, and what we need to do, we need to return the minimum path sum from top left corner to the bottom right corner, and we have to return in such a way that if we keep adding the numbers in the path, it will be the minimum sum. And the condition is given that we can either move downward or on the right side. We cannot move in up direction or left side. So this is the question. Let's see how we can do it. Okay, so we are given this m into n grid, and what we need to do, we need to go from here to here in the minimum sum, and we can only move either in the right direction or in the bottom direction. We cannot go left or up. So let's see how we can do it. So we will be using dynamic programming for that. So first we will be solving sub problems and then the bigger picture. So let's say if we want to travel from here to this one, we only have one option here to travel through this way. Similarly, if we talk about traveling from 1 to this 4, we only have one option to go downwards. So for first row and first column, we have only one way to do so. So what we can do, we can create another array in which we'll store our minimum path that we get if we had to come from 1 to that particular index. So from 1 it will be just 1. For 3 we can only move in this particular direction. So for 3 it will be 1 plus 3, 4. For 1 it will be 5. 1 plus 3 plus 1 equals 5. Similarly for the first column, here it will be 2 because we can only come through this way. And for 4 we'll have here 6 because 4 plus 1 plus 1. Okay, so we are done with the first row and first column. Now comes the interesting part. So if you want to come from 1 to 5, what is the best option we have? We can either come from this direction from 1 to 5, or we can come from 3 to 5. If we come from 1 to 5, our answer here will be 7. 1 plus 1 plus 5 equals 7. If we come from the other side from 3, our answer will be 8. 1 plus 3 plus 5, 8. If we calculate the minimum from both of them, it will be 7. So we'll choose from this direction. So we get an idea. So we can create a formula for it. So if for first row and first column we can create it, and for the rest of the part we can use a formula that for let's say grid I comma j, it will be minimum of two values, either the either from the previous row, so I minus 1 at j, or from the previous column, so I comma j minus 1, whichever one is minimum for them. So if we continue this formula and apply this to the remaining portion, if we want to come from 1 to 1, which one is minimum, 5 or 7? Here 5 is minimum, so if we add 1 to 5 it will become 6. So for 1 to 2, at 2 we have two options to come from, 6 or 7. Which one is minimum? 6. So we'll add 2 to it and it will become 8. And at the end for 1 we have two options, either we can come from 6 or from 8. So which one is minimum? The minimum is 6. So we'll add 6 to 1 and it will become 7. And this will be the final output that we will be returning. So the time complexity for this one will be n into m, number of rows into number of columns, and the space complexity will be, it will be o in, n into m if we use a separate array, but we'll be using the same array which is provided to us, so it will be o of 1. So this is the explanation. Let's see how we can do it in code. Okay, so let's first declare our variables. So the length and width of our grid, so n equals to grid dot length and constant equal to grid at 0 dot length. Okay, when this is done, let's write the solution. So let's first deal with the first row and first column as we discussed in the solution. So let I equals 1 and I is less than n, I plus plus. So grid at I at 0, it will just keep adding to the previous one. So this is the reason we are starting from index 1. We'll just keep adding the previous one. So grid at I minus 1 at 0, and we'll just keep adding it. Okay, similarly for the next one, for let j equals 1, j is less than m, and j plus plus. For this time it will be grid 0 at j, and similarly we'll just keep adding the previous one. So 0 at j minus 1. Now once we are done with previous row and previous column, we need to write the logic for the remaining grid. So for let I equals 1, I is less than n, and I plus plus. Now for the column part, for let j equal 1, j is less than m, and j plus plus. Now we'll write our logic. So grid I comma j will be, so we'll keep adding it as well. So it will be math.min to calculate the minimum of two of them, either from upside or from downside. So grid I minus 1 at j, or grid at I j minus 1, whichever is minimum from them, we'll keep adding it. And at the end, we'll just return the element present at the last row and last column at the right corner. So n minus 1 and m minus 1. Okay, so this is the code. Let's run it. Okay, grid, we get one error. Okay, I added one dot here. My bad. Run it again. It's working. Let's submit it. Cool. So that was it for this video. Thank you for watching.